Cam got hit.
Oh man, so yeah, us, the Jordan Peele magnum opus that everybody is claiming it is, and oof, man, look, it's a great movie.
People got beside themselves. I think a lot of people are just excited about Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
They're just very excited about him, and you should be. It's just that, all right, bring it in.
Yeah. You guys, you gotta. Hey, look, we can't have a show without starting the show off.
All right, we're starting.
Who are we, man?
So this is CJ here. D and Nagier on the. We're all here reviewing Us and such.
Yes.
We're just kind of ahead of ourselves because we had a very much enjoyable time at the screener at Howard University.
Interesting.
You mean the party at Howard?
Yeah, the party at Howard University.
Look. Naj had this face the whole time. I was like, yo, look, this lit and all, but can we start the fucking movie?
Yeah, I'm here for a movie, man. I'm here for a movie.
You had that look the whole time. I wish I got you on camera.
You can't
see how you look, nigga.
I went to an HBCU, so I've already embraced the essence of the culture of that.
Yeah.
And I'm here to see a movie.
D said I look like a dad. D said I look like a dad at the thing, and I'm like, yeah, there were moments where I'm just like, I just want to watch the movie. I mean, this is
I mean, like, look, the only reason why I enjoyed it is because I love young people having fun. Oh, yeah, I'm all about that. I'm a Stan Lee type of person. I'm always going to be around young people. I love that shit. But y'all did see me it was 5:06. I said, fuck it, I'm making it. I'm going to make that video. But other than that, man, I thought it was a great time. The only thing I will say is this, I know that y'all can agree with me. I love lit black movie theaters for one thing. Everybody's loud. I hate it. Hold on. And I hate it for one reason also. Everybody's goddamn loud.
Ooh, yeah.
This was on hyper mode. It was 3 parts in the movie they fucking ruined for us, y'all. I'm being real. 3 parts of the movie. 3 parts for me, they ruined because everybody talked over good dialogue that we needed.
Yeah.
Well,
and I hate that.
Let me get this off my chest. First of all, I do apologize for any noise in the background. I am driving back home, just so anybody's listening.
You're good, man.
But I will say, like, look, my home theater when I was younger was Rivertown, so I'm used to the nonsense of people sneaking in and all the rowdiness. So let's not get it wrong. But like, this is an opportunity to see a movie before it comes out, early and free with the cast, and everybody knows, at least right now, Jordan Peele has the reputation for his movies being deeper than beyond what you're seeing. So when you're talking over a lot of the selected parts, it's so easy to possibly miss out on key things. And we were definitely hijacked with that. So my first thing that I'm going to say about this movie tonight is, please, people, pick the right audience, pick the right company when you go see this. Please stay. Yeah. If you care that much about his psychology that he puts into it, he's an artist. He's a director, a producer, and a writer. So he's an artist because he wears all 3 hats. Mm-hmm. Pick the right company when you see this. It's essential. It is not black and white in this movie. It's always, and like all of us, and even Sam, who was going to join us tonight, we knew that we weren't going to just see this and understood right away. You had to digest it. You had to think about some of the things that happened that, like, you're like, oh, I get it now, because that's what you get. You're not going to see Insidious, and at the end you're just like, oh, that person was really dead and that person was really alive. Like, nothing like that.
So here's the thing.
It's deeper.
So here's the thing. I'll say this to get straight to the point. All right. Here's what this is my pros and cons. So the pros about this movie is this: the acting was great across the board. Everybody, especially Lupita, she did a damn good job, right? The cinematography was on point.
Yep. Yes. I agree. There was like one shot though. I looked at Naj, and we had this little like,
he didn't like
he
didn't like the camera. She didn't like this one camera shot.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like one shot in the movie. It's not even like a clever shot. It's more like, you didn't have to zoom in that close, nigga. You got it.
The musical score was fine. I didn't have a problem with the musical score.
Also, if I can just chime in, I think Jordan Peele made a good statement that the music also played like a character in the movie. Oh, yeah. So the music was on point for sure.
I told that to Chris before, man. We was looking at like when you have good soundtracks, good OSTs, whatever. When you have real good ones, they are, like you said, 50% of the experience.
Yeah,
it is. The one thing that I didn't really think about until I was put it this way, I was watching Amadeus, right, and pretty much what he did was make music to Mozart made music to plays. And that was 50% of the experience. You had these great scores, and then you had this great play that was in front of you. So yes, they both go hand in hand. So I love how when that hits, it hits. It really did in this movie. Yeah. And the slow down version of I Got Five on It is fucking creepy, and I love it.
Now here's the thing. But two issues with the movie. And it's not issues like it destroys the movie. No. The direction and I think the screenplay are kind of like wonky a little bit to me.
The screenplay, yes. Direction was fine to me.
Yeah. I guess I'm mixing them up and stuff. So I guess I could say the direction was fine. Let me rephrase that. Direction was fine. I think the screenplay is where I felt it was a little wonky because I felt like. Okay, so I went into this movie already like, okay, because this is the second time I saw it. So in both instances, I went into it like, okay, look, don't look into this movie as having a message. Just watch the movie at face value, what you're being presented, right? And I said it best that this movie was basically a long, close to 2-hour episode of The Twilight Zone. Like, it's just a straight up Twilight Zone type episode that wants to do something that's deep, but then it's not really as deep. But then my issue too is that you're going to see a lot of folks trying to make this shit deep, and it's not really deep.
Okay, fair point. Also, the Twilight Zone is coming back to TV, but yep, fair point.
Yeah. I told Lucas that. Lucas was like, "Damn it, Chris, you're right," and I was like, "Yeah." So,
I think those are fair points. I went in with a different impression. I know you've seen it twice. I give my positives and negatives. Look, my positives is that I like the continuity of a director, writer, and producer being one person. I like that he was able to handle that and still provide a solid movie. The acting I thought was stellar. And very unconventional because of the way the roles were done, but still very stellar because I've seen the type of doppelganger type of mentality or characters presented in other movies, and I was unimpressed. I was absolutely impressed about how they were done to efficiency. Yeah. I do appreciate Jordan Peele for being deeper than the vanilla plot in the movie. So I think the plot was okay. I think the theme was super deep. That I think that the positive out of it is that everyone is going to get something different from it. So what you get from it is special to you, and you should keep that. And I think when a movie can do that, I think that's definitely a positive. So whatever you see the movie to be, you're right. Is how I feel. Yeah. But beyond that, I also think there's something that he's trying to present to people. And I will just say this, and I don't know if you want to consider this a spoiler or not. This movie is not about racism. And I
don't know why people thought that, but whatever.
Because they seen Get Out, and it's like, oh, well, this is Get Out 2. This is not Get Out 2. This is because of the success of Get Out, I have another movie. Yeah. That's the only connection to that.
Now Sam is here, so I'm gonna let him get his little thing in and stuff on the positive.
What's up, Sam?
Sam is here.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? I got 10 minutes. I gotta go to bed.
Let me just get negatives, and then you can have it. You get negatives, you can have it. Sam. My only negative is that I feel like I feel like I had an issue with our crowd that I feel like I was able to miss dialogue. Now, with that being said, I feel like some of the dialogue was not like, I feel like they didn't present the dialogue in a standard that you need to pay attention to. I feel like the dialogue was kind of like mumbled, but I also feel like, because I understand what they said at the Q&A about how the characters were presented, that I feel like some of like the dialogue and how they were presented, they didn't put enough emphasis on to realize how significant it may be for the plot in itself. But I don't really have much negatives. I just think that it's just one of those type of movies that everyone could get something from it. Pick your correct audience, your correct company to see it, and I think you would enjoy it. I think it's a very, very artistic type of movie for everybody. So,
all right,
go see it.
All right, Sam. Positives, negatives, and go.
All right, so I thought that the performances from Lupita Nyong'o, honestly, all around, the performances were just really good. Lupita, what she was able to pull with both her doppelganger shadow self and is this a spoiler review?
No.
Just go for
it. No, spoiler.
Just go for it.
Oh, shoot, man. First off,
I already brought up the doppelganger thing, so you're good.
Yeah, her performance was amazing, but the sheer fact that, what she was able to do with her voice with the shadow self, what we thought was the shadow self, was even more amazing, because it led you to this Easter egg that was like, whoa, this woman hasn't been speaking for 30 years. That's the reason why her voice is like that. And the whole entire movie, I was rooting for the wrong person. I was rooting for the antagonist without me knowing it, unbeknownst to me. And I think that was one of the things that was so effective about her performance, and the way that, Jordan Peele was able to direct her and guide her, misleading the audience in so many different regards. But I think that also the cinematography and the music, the soundtrack was just really creative, really impactful, really suspenseful. But the cinematography, there was a couple of different shots that I was like, yo, this is some really dope imagery here. This is definitely more on the side of horror thriller-esque, as opposed to kind of how Get Out was more like message and like, enthrillment behind message. This was not necessarily a clear-cut message at all. I kind of left out of the film, I think this is a positive, like really just pondering what happened to the original girl. Like how messed up it was. How messed up was the fact that she had to kind of make herself be a part of this world of tethered people that basically were discarded clones, essentially. And it was kind of like, to survive, she had to kind of make an uproar for her to get out. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like, this was messed up. But even more interesting was the dynamic between her and her son, how the fact that they were very much so different, the same, that they could become untethered.
You might be floating in spoiler territory.
Yeah, I know. Don't go too crazy with. Don't go too crazy with.
You might be floating.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I think that there's so much more to talk about on a spoiler cast than just now. I don't know how anybody can really talk about this movie without kind of going into deep spoilers, because it's not just Easter eggs. It's not just things that are really pinpoint and specific. Like, there are things and facets about the characters that change your perspective on everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that from that point of view, like, the more I pondered it after the fact, the more I kind of sat on it, because I didn't do my review till the next day. And it's kind of like, the more that I kind of pondered it, I was like, yo, this wasn't like a message necessarily, more so than this is great defining character development and like perspective and a different way of looking at stuff. Now, there might have been an underlying theme there that might be more of the negative side, like that I missed when I was watching it. But the more I kind of pondered it, and more, I think even if I watch it again, I think it'll really help me perceive and understand things a lot better. Another negative I would say is that, it's not necessarily negative. Like, I think the comedy in this is very natural. Like, I think it wasn't like, like, man, this kind of came out of left field. Like, I was like, this is just a funny tell moment. And I don't know I think the negative side would be if he didn't write it to be funny. but I think that he's smart enough to know what's natural comedy and what's forced comedy. And I think it was just kind of some dark comedy that really did work and hit home with audiences. But I think even with our screening, there was a lot of dialogue that I missed. And that's another thing I really want to kind of see the movie again, that I wasn't able to kind of get to Nagier's point. What else positive? I think that it was some pretty intense deaths in this one. I think definitely more along the lines of the horror side of things, but I don't know how to put this as a negative too. Each death from a doppelganger, the significance behind it, I don't really get. If y'all know what I mean, I guess hands held. I guess that's a good point to say, without spoiling. I don't really know what this means or what's going to happen moving forward.
Right. That's definitely my point. Is that I feel like there is a lot that has meaning, and maybe if it doesn't have meaning, maybe it doesn't, but it does make you think, and I think that's still good. I think in the art of creating conversation, which obviously that's what Get Out there. It created a lot of conversation. This movie creates a ton more conversation because it's just not that. It wasn't that straight up purpose of what the movie is. Because again, I think anybody can get something different out of this movie, and I think that's half the plot, but majority of the thing. And also, I will say this too. A negative that I do have, I feel like the marketing was wrong. It's putting this as a horror film. I do not think this was a horror film.
It was a black comedy with horror elements. That's why I'm going to keep pushing.
I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was just saying it was a jumpy film. There was jumpy moments, but you didn't leave out of the theater like, oh my God, I need to look under my bed. You left the theater thinking like, what were they trying to say to me in this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not a horror movie to me.
All right. So D, what was your positives and negatives coming out of this film?
All right. First off, I have to say y'all have pretty much said everything.
Okay. All right. Well, there you
go. Hold on. So I want everybody to understand because D has been a little bit touchy lately. I want everybody to understand. I don't fucking hate everything. Okay. Where did that come from? Because I don't like the one thing you like, therefore I hate everything. Go fuck yourself. I had to get it off my chest. But I want everybody to notice they said everything positive that I wanted to say. And then some. Thank you, Sam. Y'all said everything I wanted to already say. So that just leaves me of being an asshole a little bit. And it's not even me being negative. I'm with you. There is something awesome about seeing something in the background, like in Teen Titans Go, ha ha, there's a picture of the Joker. That's cool when it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Hey, D, you cut out.
What the fuck are the rabbits for, man? Huh?
Okay, you cut out, but now I hear you now. You're good.
Oh, my bad.
I know what the rabbits for, but I can't say
no,
it.
No. Let me go. Look, there's a lot of shit where you just looked at it like, Jordan, what, man, what is it? What does it mean? Because I'm not going to sit on YouTube for the next 3 hours, jumping from video to video from theories. What does it mean, man? Just tell me. Just tell me. Yes, I'm stupid. I don't care. Just tell me what the fuck were you trying to get with that, man. And if it doesn't make sense, cool. I'll watch Dragon Ball, my nigga. I can take it. All right? So, I don't know. Whatever. That's my negative about it. That's my big negative about it. And the only reason why it hits me like that is because I can really imagine this movie creeping out people. Like, I don't think it's scary. But I can see some people seeing this and being terrified.
I agree.
I can see that. And when you don't see it as scary, you're there for the story. And the story is very good. And then that shit happens. And you're like, Jordan, Look, bro, what? What does it mean, dog? like that. I hate how movies do that sometimes. Like one of the reasons why I like you know me. You remember the movie The Sale?
Yeah.
You remember the movie The Sale with Jennifer Lopez and Vincent D'Onofrio? The whole time you're like, okay, look, I know this is hell. Where are you going with this? What does this mean, man? We don't know what it means.
I'm not even saying you gotta beat us over the head, but it's like, yo.
I'm like, yo, you don't even gotta do all this cryptic shit. And this is not even cryptic. It's just more like, okay, yeah, but, huh? Whatever. That's like and that's what I'm saying. If you're not there, you're not creeped out by it, that hits you in the storyline, and you're like, I mean, what? So did they live? Is it just like half of America? What? Did all like
Hands Across America? God damn it! What is going on here?
The thing.
But here's we're gonna have to have a spoiler discussion because I want to answer all these questions.
What's our time mark?
Oh no, we only like 20 minutes in, so we good. But yeah, it's one of those movies that it's like, I guess for me, swinging her back around and stuff. I think for me, it's going to be like Nagier said. A lot of people are going to take different things from this movie. It's just like I think what bothers me is the outside stuff more than the stuff in the movie.
Yeah,
so it's like
it really is. It's really jarring with, number one, the advertisement is already jarring. So I think for some people that's ready for this movie to scare them, no, it won't. But like I said, I can see some people looking at this movie and being creeped the fuck out. Little kids will be scared of this. I can see little kids being scared of this, not adults. You know what I mean? Like grown adults. Yeah. Some of us. I'm looking at you, pretty people. I was sitting up there.
I think this movie is a strong 7 out of 10.
I am the same way too. But here's the thing, Chris. I am like you now. Now it's like I'm looking at 8, and I can respect somebody giving an 8.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing. I get why some people see this as really, really great, but at the same time, it's like, bring it in, dog.
It ain't the best way. I don't need to hear.
This Hitchcock, nigga. Bring it in, dog. Yeah. This is Jordan Peele, and he's getting his feet wet. He ain't there yet, nigga. But this is pretty good, though. Yeah. But this is pretty good. There's nothing to be ashamed about in this movie because the acting is good, the directing is good. Everything from a fundamental standpoint is perfect. Yeah. I can tell you that. The story rolls his ankle, and then you find out after his X-ray, it tore his ACL. That's what happens with the story. But it's still good because you know why? Most horror movies have terrible plots. So this one is fucking Shakespeare, nigga.
Yeah. So, I guess that's it for our little review. Cause I think if we keep going, we're going to be meandering. So, yeah.
I mean, did Sam jump off?
No, I'm still here.
Yeah, he's still
here. What you give it, Sam?
Yeah.
This is going to be totally controversial. So, initially when I got out of the theater, I didn't know what to really rate it because the very end really threw me off. But when I realized that the movie fundamentally wasn't so much for me to really philosophically understand. It was more so like, this is something that happened, and this is something that us as the audience is taking through this POV kind of sense. Or it's like, we're led to go and like root for this, like the classic, horror trope, but then kind of like put a Twilight Zone twist on it. But then at the end of the day, like I was like, when I really think about like how messed up this was, I think the thing that hit me was when the Shadow Doppelganger described what the Shadow went through. And when you really break that down, I don't know if y'all remember it or not, when she goes into really big detail about what she kind of had to go through, I was like, man, that's messed up. But then when I realized, when they started having that really end fight that was choreographed pretty well and shot pretty well, I was like, whoa. And that threw me off. I ended up giving this movie a 9.5 out of 10 or either a 9 out of 10. I actually really did enjoy it. But part of the reason why is because I kind of sat on it and I reflected on it. And, like, I really need to go and see it again. This is one of those movies I feel like merits being able to watch it again. I do think the marketing shouldn't have been that in your face, because I think some people are going to get something. I think everybody's going to get something from it. But if you go into these preconceived notions that this is going to be like Get Out or this is going to be like this kind of horror slasher, this is not that movie. Either one of those is not that movie. But if you kind of like watch it for face value as what's really happening and then what really did happen, I think it's a really compelling story. And I think it's something even more so deeper than I don't think that it was as easy to kind of digest as Get Out was either. And so it's like if you went into it thinking, if you went in thinking that this is going to be like Get Out, that you could just really just easily comprehend and understand, this movie might not be for you. Or at the very least, you need to kind of temper your expectations and kind of, if you're a critic, like wait and really process what really happened. Exactly. Or even go see it again. I think if you're a critic, I think you should see it again, which sucks because some people would say if you had to go see a movie twice, it wasn't done right. But at the same time, a movie like The Matrix, Inception, Memento, those are movies you have to see multiple viewings. You just can't not see it like just once. And I think that this is one of those movies, unfortunately, and fortunately. And I think that for me, it's just masterclass. I couldn't give it anything lower than a 9 out of 10. Like, if the acting was too good, cinematography was too good, score was too good, and the story, to Dee's point, it really does. I don't know. I don't want to say it trips on its own ankle, but it does something very different. It's going to slide a person one way or another. But I really do think I understand what really happened, and I really do find it very interesting. I
hope Sam leaves some points, man. Jeez, dude. Dude, I gotta be honest. I seen it today. Sam already had 24 hours to see it. I can't give it a grade yet, but I will say this. A lot to what Sam has said. If you are a person who like Nocturnal Animals and Tom Ford and Inception, like he said, you know that these are movies aren't for the average typical mind who's looking to just see visuals and action, and that was a good movie. This movie had a story, that the story worked, but the theme is the thing that you need to take some time to dissect, and I cannot fairly give it a grade because I'm still processing it. But I enjoyed a very lot of it. I am a big person. I'm always talking about the score. The score was good, and again, I can't even take credit for this because Jordan Peele said it himself. The score was a character that played the pivotal part in this movie, and I appreciate that. And I will say this again, like I said in the beginning. Everyone's going to see the story, but everyone's going to take something away from the theme. And I think that is what you should cherish, and don't let somebody take that from you. And I think only an artist could create such a canvas of something of that sort.
Yeah. So.
He's going to go with. Oh, there he goes.
There he goes. All right, so I guess that's it for our little review. We probably will do a deep dive spoiler thing on it and stuff.
Please, oh my gosh, please! Like, I wanted to talk to D the entire time when you kept on saying that. I was like, we need to go there.
So, that in mind, we will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.